Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call! Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
Late for jokes.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimblett to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates, and welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class Movie Review Edition. I'm your host for today, Joseph.
I'm Peter.
I'm Tyler.
And this week, the Wheel of Destiny landed on my pick, The Hunt.
Rated R.
What a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Could tell.
Der vist noget galt her.
Our audio listeners are loving this right now.
Lukas,
We should have a
kigger du lige ind et øjeblik?
Translator?
maybe
Danish translator?
A random...
Hvad er det, der er sket?
Ja, det kan jeg ikke sige. Måske det bedste, at du tager fri et par dage, ikke? Så
You know, we
kan
should
du få
have
det
a
her på plads,
yearly
sådan stille
middle
og
Oh,
class.
you're the
film
Rizzler.
class.
I just realized that Tyler's the Rizzler.
That is the Rizzler.
roligt. Nu
Hey, who?
Whoops. Whoopsie.
Ja, desværre anden
Which one
grænseoverskridende
is it?
adfærd imod.
The
Du skal
Rizzler.
ikke høre på, hvad de siger.
I think it's that Marn.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
That's because last week you weren't here.
Yeah.
Så hvorfor skulle du?
Any Danes on any Danes on the
Hvad laver I her? Hvad sker der?
on the chat?
Du kan ikke få
Anyone
noget.
have a great
Jeg har ret til
Dane?
at købe ind her. Jeg kan godt
Rip
prøve at se.
Nova.
Yeah. God damn.
Det er min bedste vens datter, det ved du godt, ikke?
Jeg tror på børnene, Lukas, det har jeg altid gjort.
Hvis du rører som en lille datter. Findes du eller hvad? Så får du en kugle.
Yeah, this was definitely filmed over the pond.
Over the pond. I think it was filmed in Atlanta, Georgia, 15 minutes away from Joseph Bridges' house.
Helvede, du har ikke gjort noget. Hvorfor lå min far? Hvad er det, du forestiller dig er sket? Det er dem, der er blevet syge i hovedet. Vil du sige noget til mig? Helt byen står højt ud på dig, mand.
Love that part.
The Hunt. The Hunt. Let's get out of that. The Hunt. Very different from the other The Hunt we reviewed.
Very
Yes.
different.
Totally different tone.
Just 8 years later.
Different country, different language, different actors, different director, different editor.
Different. It
The
was
whole
different,
thing is
yeah.
different.
Story almost the same though.
Yeah. Surprisingly. So this is The Hunt. I replaced The Hunt with The Hunt. This came out in 2012, directed by Thomas Vinterberg, who I believe also directed Another Round from 2020.
Vinterberg. He directed The Hunt that came out in 2012.
All right, no more of that.
You're done.
I like how every foreign language is just the same accent for Tyler.
Yeah.
Danish sounds like Austrian, sounds like German.
And this is starring one Mads Mikkelsen, Thomas Bo Larsen, Annika Wetterkop as Clara, and a bunch of other Dane actors.
Yeah, we only care about Mads.
Mads and Thomas Bo Larsen, who I feel like I've definitely seen him in other
Yeah, he
stuff.
looked familiar.
He's in Another Round as well.
Yeah.
But
that's right, he is.
but this is about Mads Mikkelsen, who plays Lucas, who works at a school, like an elementary school,
Like a preschool kindergarten.
and he has just gone through a divorce, and he's just kind of living a sort of solitude type of life, while struggling with his son's custody, and he is slowly, his life is kind of seems like it's going on an upswing when he gets in a relationship with one of his coworkers.
Yeah.
And receives good news that his son is going to be actually coming and living with him because he's not having a good time living with his mom. But then the wrench gets thrown into, as it does.
Yeah. Life happens,
And you're...
We've all been there.
Accused of touching a little girl.
Not just a little girl, a whole school.
And then and then it escalates whole school.
Don't you hate it when that happens? Sucks.
So I'm glad we're reviewing this Christmas movie.
Yeah, and it is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, as much as as much as Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Yeah, this is also a Christmas movie.
Yeah, because they're doing the Christmas Eve service is when the church scene.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like the climax of the whole movie. And this, as the trailer kind of pointed out, it was backwards, but I believe that it was a winner at Cannes at the Cannes Film Festival. I don't know if it won the Palme d'Or, but it was definitely.
It was
nominated
nominated for the best foreign language Oscar, and then also nominated for the BAFTAs best foreign language movie as well. I don't know about Cannes.
It might have been a selection at Cannes.
Thomas Vinterberg won the Palme d'Or best actor for Mads Mikkelsen at Cannes, and that's it at Cannes. Yeah.
And I think this is all of our first time watching this movie.
It is.
I've seen it.
You've seen it before? I've after watching it, I knew what the subject matter was going in, but after watching it, I feel like this is going to be kind of a hard movie to talk about.
Yeah, which what makes it interesting.
Yeah,
not me. I have a lot to say.
I can't wait to defend this guy. All the child molesters out there, wrongly accused or rightly accused, but
Yeah, because it's a very serious subject matter, and it's portrayed in a very real way. It feels like
very earnest,
very grounded.
It feels natural.
Yeah, and it almost does. It's kind of hard for me to criticize it, I guess, in a way. But I guess let's get some initial thoughts. Pete, is your second
watch? Yeah, second watch. And Vinterberg, I didn't know who he was when I first watched The Hunt, but it was known to me as a very interesting movie about an interesting subject matter, and almost like a reflection on the human psychology and like groupthink mentality in society. And it didn't disappoint. I love Mads Mikkelsen in anything, so I think he was a very sympathetic character to be in the lead, and also he does have a little bit of a creep factor just by the nature of his looks. Like he already has a little bit of a nefarious look. So if people are instantly saying, "Oh, this guy is a villain," or "This guy is a creep," or whatever, I can understand why someone would be a little bit more disposed to say, "Yeah, maybe." And he plays a downtrodden sort of lonely man in a good way. He's very
kind of like in Another Round as well.
Yeah,
also a teacher.
Very similar.
It's actually the same character.
He's come a long way.
Yeah,
started drinking, hit the sauce real hard.
It was a prequel.
So I mean, I thought he did good. Very understated until he wasn't. That most of it is him just quietly living his life until shit hits the fan. And I think the really interesting thing about the movie is putting yourself in his shoes and thinking, what would I do if I was falsely accused of something like this? Like a false rape accusation is almost as bad as a rape accusation, a real rape accusation. And this is what they talk about in The Life of David Gale with our old pal, what's his name? Kevin Spacey? Yeah, Spacey. Shithead Spacey.
Yeah, the spaceman.
He gets a false rape accusation. It ruins his life, and then the movie kind of takes off from there. In this world, in this story, no child is being molested. Like it is not happening.
Or maybe it is.
I mean, maybe the daughter definitely has some. She's exposed to pornography on screen, which is definitely gross and not good for her.
Yeah.
But, the character who's accused of it, there's no question about it. It's not like he is molesting her and then all of a sudden he's caught, or you're not sure did he, didn't he?
They put a clear picture of
it. It's very clear that he's falsely accused, not maybe he actually did it. So, his response to what's happening is, I think, the interesting part and the really, really fascinating part about the writing and the impressive part about the writing. Because there's moments throughout the movie where he's making decisions where you're like, bro, you are not helping your case. Fighting the guy back in the supermarket doesn't seem like you're making the case. Screaming down people in the church, definitely not helping your case. But at the same time, it's like, do you just submit and become a recluse, abandon your life, move out of the country or whatever, to where people like start over fresh as a middle-aged, slightly maybe above middle-aged man, and abandon your child and abandon your family and friends and stuff like that? Or do you push back and say, I know you hate me, but it's bullshit. What you're saying is bullshit, and I'm not going to succumb to it.
Yeah.
You know? So it is interesting to think about in terms of that.
And the public perception of you, even if it is, and like, it was false, everybody. It's still, you still have those people, as illustrated by the very end of the movie.
Yeah. And just when you think it's like, okay, well, the father takes him back under his wing. He accepts him as a friend again. He becomes part of the tribe yet again. And then, but everybody's still shifty-eyed, even though the father of the supposedly the abused.
Well, I think the end really.
Yeah, it's a great ending because it's like
it's horrifying.
Just when you think he's out, he's
They
never
pull him back
he's
in.
never gonna be able to not look over his shoulder.
Yeah.
So parts I didn't like the fact that Annie, what's the dog's name?
Fanny. Yeah, that was rough.
Didn't like the Fanny died. I knew it was gonna happen the first time I watched it. I forgot about it until halfway through the movie. On this time, I'm like, oh no. Oh, Fanny, she's so sweet.
Oh no,
not Fanny. It's gonna happen.
It's so fucked up.
I know. It's like, why take the sins of the father onto the sins of the dog? You know. So, anyways,
They're simpletons.
Yeah, and on top of that, the way the film is shot too just gives you a really clear snapshot of this really sweet way of life. This like very quiet. Everybody walks to work.
We're a small town.
Yeah, everybody knows everybody, and he's got. Yes, it's sad, and you feel bad for him because of the kid, and you can't see the kid, and his wife is not understanding, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's like he's still living a decent little life, and he's just got his little way, and he's trying
got a palatial estate.
I don't know about that, but
He
has an estate.
Yeah, he's got a small house. So I don't know. It's an interesting. It feels like a very like real look at that way of life, and then just one quick whip into the like a hard left turn, and it fucks everything up.
Yeah.
Watching that interrogation scene of the little girl, and then every adult interaction with her afterwards was so hard to watch and so cringy when they're like, if you don't say this, you can't go play in the playground again.
Yeah.
You know, I know you're lying. You need to tell us what happened. And you're like, just let her be.
Well, because they're like coaxing her and being a child, impressionable, and all that stuff.
But at the same time, had it really had happened, that's what you want to do. You want to find the truth and get it out of the child, so you can take this potential predator out of the flock. You know, take the wolf out of the flock.
Yeah.
So it's really towing a strange line with the social, mores of what that really means, and cancel culture sort of feel about, but like a violent canceling of the culture within the tribe. Because this is what you would do in a tribe if you were a tribe.
Yeah.
Right.
And this small town makes it feel like a tribe, not like a society.
Yeah.
So it's like, you are evil. We're casting you out. You can't shop here. We won't sell you pork chops. You can't come to church. You're gone.
Yeah.
And there's only a very few small group of people who like believe him and will advocate for him, and they're becoming pariahs as well.
Right.
So I kind of expected his friend to turn on him with the Godfather with the glasses, to be like at some point, hey man, I believe you, I trust you, but
Can't be seen with you.
The heat's too hot.
Yeah.
You're bringing me down with you, so I gotta distance myself.
He
I'm
lives in a
sorry.
palatial estate.
Yes. Yeah, that's different. So, anyways, just as great the second time, maybe even better. Really good.
Okay. Tyler, this is your first time watching, right?
Yes, it is. And so I came into this movie thinking it was going to be a battle royale situation.
Okay.
I thought that Mad Mikkelsen was going to be hunted. Quite literally, not in the sense that the movie portrays. This was I wrestled with this thought because yes, it is a very good movie. It's very well shot, very well acted, but is it almost too real to it to be in like entertainment? Because we watch movies for entertainment, right?
No, not always.
Well, I do. And so
That's a you, not we.
okay, well,
If that's your goal, I was watching this morning, and producer Justice walked in the room, and I told him the basic plot of it. It was like right when
he just walked out.
No, he said, "Tell me from a person who really loves movies, why would you watch a movie like this? Isn't it escapism? Isn't that the goal?" And I'm like, we had a little talk about it. I'm like, it's not always the goal.
Yeah.
For me, the goal sometimes with movies is to feel emotions that I don't want to feel in my real life.
Well, so
Like a roller coaster ride, you know?
That's an interesting conversation because this movie really evokes that kind of conversation. Because I don't watch movies necessarily for escapism, but this movie definitely is not a movie that you're just gonna pop on just to watch.
It's not light fare.
Like, yeah, and I think that it's, for myself, it was very too real. Not to say that's a detriment to the film. Initial thoughts. I loved the movie.
Oh, okay.
I think it was very, very well done. It was almost too well done.
It was too good.
It was, it was almost too good because I felt like I was a fly on the wall watching this situation unfold. There was no,
It's too good.
there was no lulls. There was no lulls in the movie. The plot moved forward. The ending was satisfying.
And I didn't like that.
It frustrated me to no end. And it also frustrated me because the antagonist, Clara,
The villain, the true
The villain of this story.
the villain in the story, is who I would name my unborn daughter. And so I was like, oh,
Not anymore.
not anymore. No.
Clara with a K.
I think Agnes was the villain. She's the leader of the kindergarten.
I know. Oh, the one that
Agnes.
fires him, right?
Yeah, the one that's like accuses him
I
baselessly.
believe the children.
Yeah, she's basically
Without question.
coerces the child into it. I mean,
Yeah.
hashtag believe women, Tyler.
Well, I thought that was in the chat. But yeah, this was it was heavier than I expected. I was expecting, I was expecting like a really cheesy movie, like
So when you-
involving a
when-
man getting hunted in the woods.
So even though we had already reviewed a movie called The Hunt that was a battle royale style type of movie, you were expecting another movie
same
of the
one.
same exact genre,
Like a remake?
called the exact same thing.
I did. I did.
That just shows that he doesn't listen to us when we're talking, because
I did.
we gave the synopsis of the movie when you put it on the wheel a couple times since then,
Oh,
and mentioned that it was
Yeah.
the Mads Mikkelsen one, very different than the 2020.
I replaced it after we reviewed the other
I know.
one.
I mean, that's just a that just shows my shortcomings
So
as
you,
a human being
you
and
hit
a
play.
friend.
You hit
and-
play on the movie, and you're like,
So, I
I'm
mean-
gonna have
I
a
mean-
romping good time watching this battle royale movie.
Well, I didn't think I was gonna have a good time. I just thought
The worst part is his pants were already off when he started the movie.
that's well, I quickly pulled my pants back.
Oh God! Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah, I thought
not for
that-
this movie.
No, I think this is like one of those movies where Call Me by Your Name is probably a good metaphor to this movie, where it's like it feels like you're not, well, you are watching a movie, but it feels like you're watching a point of view of life.
Slice of life.
Yeah, like a slice of life, and not in a good way, because people always say like a slice of life as describing movies as a good thing. This is not a good thing.
This slice of life is not good.
And it
Welcome to Ultra Hell.
and this guy really does go through ultra hell,
Yeah.
because here's the genius of this movie is that you almost believe that he actually did those terrible things to those
you?
children.
Well, you mentioned, was there a point in the movie that there was a question that there was abuse?
Not him.
Oh, that maybe somebody else was abusing the kids?
Yeah.
No, I think I
I thought that was going to be a reveal, and it's kind of implies at the end, near the end. That I'm like, because she. I know. Like, are you done with the initial thoughts?
Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
Okay.
Loved it.
Well,
Too good.
Anyway, we'll get into that in a second. We'll go back to that.
Okay.
My initial thoughts. Yeah, I mean, it's a really well acted, well crafted story that is very tragic, sad, and you think obviously like by the end it's like all is better now, but is it? Like, it's not because you have that very, very unsettling jump scare at the end, and it's like there's some people out there still who still think that, still have that
it's
impression.
just like
you know?
True Detective season 1.
And
It's the sprawl.
yeah, it's just really. I mean, it's hard for me to find anything really that detracts from it. It is definitely something that you can't just throw on and like, I'm gonna do some cleaning. Let's throw on The Hunt.
No, you cannot. No,
First of all, you don't
cannot.
speak Danish.
Yeah.
You want to change it to you?
Oh yeah. And it's not casual viewing.
No.
Yeah, especially if you don't speak Danish or understand Danish, because you really have to pay attention.
You do. Yeah.
And but like the kind of what you were saying, Pete, about his character, like I don't think that was the smart move.
Yeah,
Maybe
there's
not-
a couple of those.
As much as I want you to beat those guys up,
Yeah.
but like, maybe you shouldn't do that because it definitely does not do you any favors and put you in a good light.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know, I did like him going to the church and him confronting him in front of everybody.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like a bigger confrontation with everybody, but it was just with him,
dad.
with his friend, with the dad. And that was acting. Like that was really, really good. And then and his son comes, and then everybody's talking to the son like, hey, your dad can't come here and you can't come in here either.
Yeah.
Was because affecting people around him.
Yeah.
All
They're
from
being
this
brought down.
all from this very little white lie.
Because I wouldn't say it's a little white lie. I mean, it's a white
Well,
lie
it's
because
something
it's
that
coming
just-
from a white person. But
Very good. There's like this little spark that then ignited everything.
Yeah.
And when the I guess the inciting incident for her to make that like accusation or whatever, because she's feeling rejected and feeling
weird
and just like angry at Lucas, when she like goes in and like just like kisses him, I was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
I was like, not allowed. That was so odd.
And he puts a stop to it
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah, he does.
Which is like he did the right thing and it backfired on him.
yeah,
If only he just was like more proactive.
Sure. To tell everybody, hey, just so you know, we need to separate us a little
Yeah.
bit because she's got this schoolyard crush that's just turning into more.
Yeah, it's and she gave me this thing,
yeah, the
the
heart.
thing.
But that's pretty innocent.
Yeah, that-
But the kissing not.
in and of itself, probably. But yeah, with that, I think if you could have avoided this whole situation if you just told somebody before.
Yeah.
But-
Come on, Lucas.
But yeah, overall, just like really solid movie. I mean, uncomfortable and sad at times when he's like people are hitting more and more people are turning against him, and you just feel really frustrated that nobody will believe him, or even like they just go instant to like instantly he's guilty.
Yeah,
It was sad
I
too.
mean,
Wow, sorry. Did you on your initial thoughts?
But yeah, but by the end, then in that jump scare happens in the woods when they're hunting. It was
Finally, the hunt.
It ended up being
Like the
kind
last
of
fucking scene.
kind of a depressing ending a little bit.
Yeah.
yeah, it is.
But yeah, I really, really good. I really enjoyed it.
I'm sorry. Did you say this was your first time watching it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also my first time watching it.
Yeah, I think what this movie really succeeds at is it makes you there was a point in the movie, and I think this was probably like in the second act, maybe like bordering on to the third act. I thought that Lucas was actually doing those terrible things, and that we were
Dallas agrees with you too. He says in the chat, he says, I started thinking that he was guilty.
But that's what makes this movie so impactful, is because why would you not believe a child who says those horrific things?
Sure.
I mean, like it's the same thing with people who are victims of sexual assault, sexual abuse, and rape and stuff. Like
children's are people.
Oh, they are.
Children's are people.
Children's are people.
I'm just saying, like people,
like adults.
So, I mean, you look at the statistics of sexual violence, and the false accusations are like within like the 1% percentile of it being actually false, and then like 99% of the time it's true. So
how can you know that? How are those statistics possible to even make?
Let's look that up. Sexual.
No, please don't Google that on my account. Please don't Google that.
Why is your picture on your Tyler?
Oh Jesus!
It's Megan's law. It's going off. It actually alerted us.
Do you have a school within a mile of here?
My house is glowing red on the map right now.
What I'm saying, when it comes to sexual violence crimes, like 99% of the time, and I'm not pulling out accurate.
It sounds like you're pulling something out of your ass right now.
But most of the time, it's very true and accurate. And so when you go into,
I'm not discrediting people who are accusing it, but where did that number come from? 99% of the time.
I won't get into that.
Where are your sources?
It was my court mandated class I took. Where I learned all these things.
Okay, let's not.
You are the 99%.
Let's not paint myself in a light that I didn't. Cut that out. Take the shoes for that.
Get to the point.
All I'm saying is, going into this movie, knowing the subject matter now, it's very easy to fall into line with like that group sort of mentality. That, okay, so I can't even imagine my daughter. I don't have a daughter, but if I did, and she said something along the lines of, "Oh well, Lucas, he had his penis pointed up to the sky and showed it to me," like you're gonna believe that.
Yeah, you will immediately believe your daughter over anybody.
You're gonna be like, "What the?"
Well, you'd be extremely alarming to hear that.
Yeah,
and you would investigate further.
I was gonna say, I feel like where the investigation stops is the big problem for me in this whole thing. Like everybody immediately, as soon as they hear that, they stop. And if it was a 15-year-old or a 10-year-old or a 5-year-old, there's a chance that they're gonna say it the one time and they're not gonna want to say it again because it's traumatic or whatever.
Yeah.
Even as an adult, that could be the case. But for the most part, it's like in these like rape accusation cases, you have to give the testimony and then recant the testimony and then confirm and then like affidavit and all this kind of crap because you're essentially signing someone's death warrant,
right,
for their life.
Exactly. And even when he was found proven not guilty of the accusations that were accosted to him,
how long do you think that was from the time that the accusation happened to the time that
it was a year?
A year?
Yeah, it was a whole it was a long year.
Finish the question.
How long was it from the time that the accusation happened to the time that he was basically found not guilty of all that in the movie?
I mean, we don't see him get found not guilty.
Well, like, it's more or less like this.
It's probably like within 6 months.
No, it was a year because
it's a year between it happening and then them like being back together again and hanging out.
Yeah,
so a year.
So not a year,
but not a year. But
within that year,
let's
almost
just say within that first year, even if it was a month of of hell, and a month of like your life being turned upside down and all your friends and family who you thought were your friends and family turning on you because of this accusation. It's like, even once you wash the stain away, you're always going to be the guy that people think might have molested a little girl.
And I think what is successful about this movie is that all of the actors involved and the writing and the way that everyone emotes and responds to the situation feels so realistic. That's why I said it feels too good, because it feels exactly like this would happen in a Scandinavian sort of community. And the guy and Lucas, the main character Lucas, he handles it exactly how you would handle like a false accusation,
punching people in the supermarket.
That was after. That's when he lost his cool. But in the beginning, he goes through the motions. And you can tell, like, through the way that his like facial expressions are, like of course this pains him. He knows this is ruining his life. But there's nothing you can do, because if you react even in a sort of way where you might be found guilty, it's over for you.
I don't think that there's no rule book for it, but I think he did okay.
Like you're not
given the circumstances.
You're not gonna
for someone who didn't do it. Yeah.
Like if you're gonna react in a very bombastic sort of way, like of course we all know that he didn't do it, and you're thinking in a knee-jerk reaction. At least for myself, when I was watching the movie, I remember seeing Clarice standing at the end of the stairs towards the end.
Oh yeah, when she's
like, "There's too many lines on the."
You could just not do the accent. That'd be great.
And then
Joe Bridges says your Danish accent is a 0 out of 100.
No, I don't.
Lazy and flat. He says.
Yeah, whatever. They can't all be winners, Joe. But
one day we'll get one.
I was thinking to myself, push her down the goddamn stairs.
What the fuck?
Push that little girl down the stairs. Make her break her neck. Because
there you go. I was waiting for it. I'm going to move on from Tyler requesting a character to abuse a child further. And Heather mentioned that there's this real life situation called the McMartin preschool trial. And it's basically a daycare that there was a sexual abuse case in the 1980s in LA. It was a coastal beach town. And I think on one mom in 1983, Judy Johnson, mother of one of the preschool's young students, reported to police that her son had been sodomized by her estranged husband and also by a McMartin teacher, Ray Bucky. He was the grandson of a former school founder, blah, 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 blah. And there was a huge trial about it. And essentially a letter went out to the family of all the students and basically said, this happened. Ask your children if they also got molested. Mm-hmm. And through the trial, there was a series. I'm just reading a brief synopsis of this. But there was like manipulation of the testimonies, kind of like this, where they like leaned on the kids to give testimony. And a lot of them originally denied anything happened. And then through multiple sets of manipulations and media twistings of the story, you get a bastardized version of the truth, where they were looking for a win in the case, not necessarily true justice.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. But I found a 416-page paper from the U.S. Department of Justice that wrote all about it. You can download that for free. There's a HBO original TV movie from 1995 starring James Woods.
James Woods.
Yeah, James Woods from 1995. That Heather says she hasn't seen it in a while, but she remembers it being fine. And then an episode of Investigation Discovery series, season 1, episode 3 is all about this. It's only a 45-minute thing.
Yeah.
They had one about the Atlanta Olympic bombing. They got one about the Menendez brothers, about the Selena killing. And this one episode is, so I'm gonna dive into this a little bit after this to give an idea of how true to life this might have influenced the hunt.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
An American or California-based story made its way all the way to.
Oh, you think
all the way to Denmark?
You think California doesn't influence Denmark? You know what I'm saying?
I think, yeah.
That's why all the accents around the world are being erased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also the parents of the alleged victim did a wonderful job, because
actors or the actual characters?
The actors, like, okay. Yeah, I thought they did a wonderful job, because if you think about it, you're not gonna. Some people would respond with violence and vitriol and
vengeance,
vengeance. And why I really like the realism in this movie is that everyone is very restrained with their emotions, because you think about child abuse. Like, I mean, like, you think it would be like if either of us had like children and like we were accused of abusing our own children or something like that, like the implication and the emotional turmoil that you have to process, like, it's so great that instead of responding like in a very aggressive emotional way, in this movie they go through like the processes. They go through the standards. We're gonna go through the teacher. We're gonna go through the police. We're gonna give you. They somewhat give the benefit of the doubt in this movie, but in the back of the head, like they're restraining they're restraining
the first interaction between his best friend and him and Lucas. When he says, I think we need to talk. And he comes in, he's clearly teary-eyed. He's been weeping.
Yeah.
And they're like having a real conversation about it. And he's like, you don't think I did it, right? Do you? And he's like, I just don't know.
Yeah.
Clara wouldn't make something up like that. She doesn't lie. And like in your head, you're like, yeah, she does. All the time. She does, for one. And for two, I don't even think it's necessarily a lie. Anyways, but they're having this whole heart-to-heart. And he's like, I don't know. I feel like I have to believe her, but you're my best friend. And then when he gets up and the wife gets involved and she starts kind of beating him up as he's leaving, the husband breaks too. And he like kind of like puts him in a headlock and pushes him against the wall and stuff. And you're just like, it's the emotions are so complex. You can't even blame him for it.
Yeah.
It's almost like, yes, maybe you are throwing away a great friendship, a lifelong friendship, but for the safety of your child, if it was true, it's like, I don't even care if it is true. Fucking gone, Yeah. So I don't know.
But that's like the whole tragedy of the hunt is that in the end, his best friend believes him.
And that's the tragedy.
The tragedy is that he believes him that he didn't do it, but
he actually did it. He got away with it.
Oh, geez.
Now, what I think what I got, what was being implied, in my opinion, was that it was the dad who was actually abusing his daughter.
Oh, I thought that too.
Wow.
Because in one instance, when she shows up at his door, like by herself, with Clara, and to Mads Mikkelsen, to Lucas's door, he's like, "Where's your mom?" And then she mentions like an instance of like, "Oh, the others, like there were other people involved in this abuse."
It's the sprawl,
right? And then he's like, "What do you mean the others?" And then she doesn't mention it again. And then towards the end of the movie, when she's like going to sleep, she sees Fanny in the hallway.
Yes.
And then
the dad.
And then the dad, and she goes, "Lucas?" And in her daze, right, in her like falling asleep, tired phase, and he's like silhouetted and walking in like,
maybe because she sees Lucas as like a
father figure,
like a shining light.
But it made it seem like the implication was that
she confused him for her.
She confused
Lucas with her dad.
Yes, or something like that. Because she saw Fanny, and Fanny's actually not there at this point. Fanny's dead.
I took that as just showing how active her imagination is.
I mean, that could also just be it as well. It could also be that the throwaway line she had earlier, like saying that she was actually being abused, because the way she is acting, the little girl is acting, it feels very like she's going through trauma.
It
does. Actually, she has been abused and is going through trauma.
She seems despondent.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Especially,
I think Joseph's in the middle of a sentence right now.
I mean, thank you for agreeing with me.
No problem. No problem, friend.
But yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I gathered was the implication. And even early in the movie, before all of that, I was like, I feel like it's the dad. I thought that was like going to be the twist.
Yeah, he looks like a creep.
That would make me sad because I liked him. He's got those beady eyes.
He's got that. He's got that crazy facial hair and top of his head hair.
Yeah.
He could use a trip to the stylist.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think that's actually his natural colors, but yeah, that scene towards the end when she like actually confesses and she's like, "Oh, he didn't actually do anything. Like there was nothing." And him being so emotional a lot of the time in different scenes, it felt like he was carrying guilt because he's watching his friend go through something that he did.
Interesting.
That was my takeaway, and there's no clear answer.
Sure, yeah.
But that was my So that was my assumption.
I agree with that because he definitely does have a sort of air to himself when after the accusations come out that he has this sort of guilty attitude. Because at least the way that he was emoting, the actor, he felt like he knew that he wasn't guilty before it came out that he wasn't guilty. Like he knew something was going on. And so there was the police report where the children said that they were in a basement and there was tapestries. Obviously, when they went to Lucas's house, there was no basement or tapestries. So I think that...
But Clara's dad had a basement.
Correct.
No, he didn't. They just never.
No, he did have a basement. He did have a basement.
Did he?
No, it doesn't show it in the movie.
Yeah, he does. It does show it.
When and where?
It does show it. When they got together to hang out.
That was in the
the
kitchen.
beginning of the movie.
They're in the kitchen.
Oh, I guess there's a downstairs kitchen. I got confused with.
No, that was the Pizzagate basement.
Oh,
Yeah.
There is, I don't know if it's a basement, but when he goes to his godfather, not his godfather, but
the Godfather.
The Godfather's house. They go to that it looks like a basement. There's no windows and it's like a kitchenette and they're
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That was after that was not his friend's house.
It was somebody else.
That was the Godfather's house.
So maybe the Godfather's the one. Oh,
The
shit.
Godfather did it.
Oh man.
Look at what they did to my boy.
They shot Sonny on the causeway. Oh wait, no, they molested my daughter.
I got some trivia. The child actress who played Clara was never told exactly what Lucas was accused of. She was only told that her character lied about him committing a crime. Think about that whenever you have these really heavy subject matters for child actors.
Yeah.
You're like, your character says something bad. But then they also got to give her the speech about the rod and the
and
pointing
the white
straight up.
stuff coming out.
But she doesn't have to be there for that.
But she's
that line.
Oh yeah.
The way they shoot it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, they have a reverse shot, and so it's the other guy. Thomas Bo Larson's fake beard, which is the guy, would constantly fall off due to the enormous amounts of alcohol in his blood. He was struggling with alcoholism at the time of the filming. What?
Wow.
And then they put him in another round.
That movie took a toll on him.
So The Celebration was in 1998. That's a movie about a celebration of life, and there's a daughter who commits suicide, and the father asks the son to read a eulogy, and he writes his own eulogy to release some sort of family secret or something like that. After that movie was released, Thomas Vinterberg was approached by child psychiatrist or psychologist Soren Fries Smith, congratulating him on The Celebration and giving him a pile of newspaper articles, scientific reports, and personal notes about cases where people had been wrongfully accused of pedophilia, telling him he should make a movie about the subject. I wouldn't be surprised if the McMartin trials were on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The movie was so frustrating because there's always the knee-jerk reaction of when you're falsely accused of something that you want to just immediately no, I didn't do it. How dare you?
Yeah. Even
but with it just you can't you have to follow it with tact, especially as serious as child abuse. You can't if you I don't know. It feels like Lucas took the right turn and basically was I don't want to say apathetic to his situation, but he showed no emotion except for towards when he couldn't shop and get his groceries. I think that was the breaking that was the breaking point.
Well, then his girlfriend, when he kicks her out, because he doesn't fully believe that she doesn't believe he did it.
Yeah.
And so he just kind of leans into I molested this kid, so you might as well just get out of here.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the power of the the group mindset of human beings is that you have this one accusation that's very serious, that's evil in our society.
Evil.
And then it cascades into ruining someone's life. And then with the ending of the movie, it still haunts him to
Yeah.
the
Yep.
day. Like, it doesn't matter if everyone believes him or not. Like, they still have that. He still has that target on his back.
There's an alternate ending on the Blu-ray.
Oh,
Alternate, really?
Yeah, that Mads Mikkelsen is shot by a member of the village and left to die in the woods.
Oh.
That's the alternate ending.
I wouldn't.
So
like
he
that
actually
ending.
gets shot.
He gets shot and dies. Yeah.
Oh
I
god!
wouldn't like
what
that.
a bleak ending.
I know, that would suck.
That would be a dumb. That's not.
Um,
I like the ending that was given.
Wow.
Some elements of the actual story from the plot share a painful resemblance to the real story of Escola Base in Sao Paulo, Brazil in 1994. There are mainly the reports of sexual encounters in a non-existent basement, exaggerated accounts of children's words, and violence against the owners and the faculty are very close to what happened. So again, another real life scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And then the scene that we were talking about before where Lucas goes to see his Theos, his best friend, and basically tell him we need to talk about this. Theo's character is staring into Lucas's eyes to look out for that tick to prove that he's lying.
The lie tick. Yeah.
Because at the
like-
beginning, he says, "Oh yeah, I can tell when you're lying. You tick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have like a eye twitch or whatever." And he's like, he's looking for that. He's very closely and staring at him.
And he does that at the church.
That too, I think.
Yeah, because he like looks back at him, at his friend, and then he
Talks to his wife.
Theo.
Yeah.
He tells his wife, he's like, I can see it in his eyes, or whatever.
Also, it's made it into the top 250 of all time IMDb, as well as the Celebration. So the first two movies from Thomas Vinterberg that made it in the top 250.
It's an incredible movie.
Really
Like,
great.
It really.
Sad and bleak, but good, really good.
Yeah, it's just it's interesting because after I finished the movie, I had the expectations I went into this movie were vastly different than
I was being like edged the whole time.
no, please no. I vastly had way different expectations, and then I remember when I finished this movie, I was like, "Holy fuck! What masterpiece did I just watch?" Oh, The Hunt.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's what it was.
Oh, I forgot.
I think we can all agree that we
we
really enjoyed this movie, and this was
Good
a
one.
masterful piece.
I like how Tyler has got his notepad out. He's scribbling feverishly as he's driving.
It's like, oh, this would be a good one.
All right. Joke 1, compare myself to Jesus. Joke 2, forget the name of the movie. Joke 3, kick the kid down the stairs.
In that order.
No, yeah, Claire needed to get kicked down the stairs. I would have done a freaking 300 Spartan-esque kick.
All right.
And I'm like, I don't know. She just fell down the stairs. She doesn't like to walk on lines. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't want to touch her. You know what happened last time?
When he
all I got to say about the movie.
when he grabbed the child at the end of the stairs, I was like,
It was a really good scene, too, because he's been vindicated.
Yeah.
But you've already saw in the downstairs scene when they're giving his son the gun, he's looking and everyone's glancing at him. Like, not everybody, but 2 or 3 people in the crowd are like looking at him and then look away.
Yeah.
They're still on the
side-eyeing
watch. They're
him.
still confused.
They're still side-eyeing
So when she
him,
comes
yeah.
and she's got this distance and he looks, and the shot, the way she's looking at him,
yeah, oh my god, yeah.
it's almost just like, can you pick me up, please? And he's like, I love this little girl. She's my best friend's daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but should I?
yeah.
What would the perception be?
Yeah,
If somebody
exactly.
saw me, the implication.
It would be kind of funny if he like looked over his shoulder and then like grinned. And then it just cuts away.
and then it ends there.
That's the alternate ending we needed.
and then Bad to the Bone starts playing.
Bad to the oh, I didn't know how we could make a comedic ending to this movie, but we somehow
we did it. We did it.
I have all these drops here. I put on
Okay,
the board.
well,
Oh man, that 15-year-old's pretty high.
well, no,
fuck already. Can you get it over
well,
with,
who's the
please?
person who shot the gun at the end?
Who?
It doesn't matter.
Just a random person.
No, but who do you think it
doesn't matter.
was?
Well, we don't know.
Well,
who
it's
it is.
not. It
matter.
doesn't matter. It
doesn't matter.
It's not about. It does. I know it doesn't matter.
There's
but
like
who do you think
12 people
was?
it could be, and none of them I know their names. So
Or I saw them.
I think it was The Godfather.
No, I don't think
no
it was.
fucking way.
Yeah, no, I think it was The Godfather.
Great manufactured hot take there, Tyler. Very good.
What can
I think
say?
it was the same person who killed the dog.
Yeah, probably. That's probably accurate concession.
Yeah, the dog killing was
Leave
a little...
Fanny out of it.
Fanny did nothing. It was a sweet dog.
Hashtag justice for Fanny. Hashtag Fanny did nothing.
Yeah, Fanny did
Fanny
nothing.
Gate.
Yeah, they hung the dog too. They didn't just like shoot and kill her. They just hung her. Like, that's so terrible.
How could you do that?
Yeah.
How can you do that? Actually, I know how you could do that. I mean, you just turn.
I'm your host, Outrageous Tyler.
Yeah.
Turn it. When it comes to killing another thing, you just turn it off.
We bring the boom!
All right, that's The Hunt.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's throw some grades on this bad boy. This Christmas movie, The Hunt.
A. Joe Bridges says it was his like 8th or 9th favorite movie from that year. Very good. Yeah, solid. Great. I mean, watch it. Be ready to be a little depressed and think a lot when you're done with it.
Yeah.
Don't go into it with high expectations or have your pants off like Tyler when he first started the movie. It's not an entertaining movie. It's not an action romp. It's not a battle royale.
Nope.
It is a think piece and a tragedy porn in a way.
I'm about to have the hardest boner right now.
That's right. So, anyways, yeah, really good. Watch The Hunt.
We bring the boom!
Tyler, what'd you think?
Oh man, yeah, solid A movie. This is gonna go down as just a classic film. There's no other way around it. It's so strangely realistic that it could be off-putting. I mean, obviously the subject matter is off-putting, but I think the realism and the acting of it all is so. I think off-putting is the wrong characterization. I think it's just when I was watching the movie, I didn't feel like I was watching a documentary. I didn't feel like I was watching a movie.
Oh,
Wasn't me. I'm muted.
oh, okay. Heard a loud gulp.
No,
Sound like Nosferatu drinking blood.
Can you make that sound with your throat when you listen to this?
Oh no, I can't do that.
oh yeah, I mean that's how I swallow the time.
No, just without even drinking water.
No, don't put that. No, god damn it, I shouldn't have said that. God damn it.
Brianna hates it when I do that. It's a really loud gulp.
Yeah, I do that as well.
There's a man trapped in there.
Yeah.
But The Hunt, definitely, I think anyone who says they're a fan of film should check this out.
And you're even not a fan of film, and you checked it out.
Oh no.
I know. I
Go
hate,
figure.
I know. I hate movies, and yet here I am.
Just a fan of child molestation. I don't know, man. That 15-year-old's pretty hot.
Take the shears.
Okay.
I was being like edge the whole time.
Stop it.
Solid A.
Yes.
We bring the boom!
I really hope I don't get arrested because this show is gonna get me killed in prison.
You think they listen to the show in prison?
Absolutely. That's where half of our listeners are from.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm
They got their Amazon Echo dots in their prison cells.
Well, I mean, Jack Fitz is from a prison island.
That's true. An entire country made prisoners.
Yeah, solid A. The Hunt. Check it out, please.
Okay. Yeah. A's all around, I think. Solid A's.
It's a AAA show.
AAA movie, AAA show. Very very good, dramatic, well acted, well shot, edited, put together movie. Yeah.
It's a weird movie, man. It's weird. It's weird how good it is.
I don't know. Well, it's not weird how good it is.
It's weird. I don't know.
Why is it weird?
It's just weird how good. Maybe I haven't been watching good movies recently, so.
We did have an anti-stream pick. Oh, you watched Polar Express. Yeah, that's what you watched. But you did watch Nosferatu.
I know. That was.
Kind of whiplash in terms of type of movie. But
headache thinking about it.
But yeah, really good. Maybe there's some like ambiguous implications there or I'm just like analyzing it too much or thinking too hard about it.
No, that's the point.
But for a movie that like takes place in essentially reality, like almost as real as you could get, almost. You wouldn't think that the filmmaker would put in that little like maybe this is.
I think I think it's on purpose.
Yeah, like
I think so because that's the doubt of the townspeople.
Yeah.
Is magnified and it makes you feel the same way.
Yeah. But yeah, so solid A. That was The Hunt.
We bring the boom!
Now it's time for The Wheel.
Wheel. 8 slots.
Oh, oops.
3
The
hosts.
wheel.
This is
Wheel.
the wheel of
Wheel.
destiny.
That's right. I forgot to reset the sound drop when I missed it last time. So The Hunt is off the wheel. Joseph, what are you going to replace it with?
Well, I'm gonna do a more fun genre.
Nice.
More something that falls under the category of entertaining.
Schindler's List.
Yeah. I'm gonna replace The Hunt with
Hunt.
Mystery Men.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Man.
Mystery Men, a 1999 comedy starring Ben Stiller, Janine Garofalo, William H. Macy, Hank Azaria, Kel Mitchell, Paul Rubens,
Who directed it?
Greg Kinnear, Kinka Usher.
What?
man.
Kinka Usher.
Wait, you said Janine Garofalo's in it?
Yes.
Oh,
One of Tyler's Dream Girls.
yeah.
Jeffrey Rush, Eddie Izzard, Artie Lang, Tom Waits.
Wow.
Tom Waits.
What a cast.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in this, and the plot of it is basically it's like a garbage. It's like a Avengers that you found in a garbage can. It's basically what it is.
It's like Guardians of the Galaxy, but
even more ridiculous and obscure.
Hey,
if it
Ed
has
is a fan.
If it has Janine Garofalo in it, I'm down.
This is a movie that I saw in theaters with my mom, and I remember all of the characters. Paul Rubens plays the spleen, and his power is he can throw his farts.
Oh, wow.
He can target his farts.
I feel like I remember this movie.
Hank Azaria plays like I think he's like magnetic or something. I can't remember. And Ben Stiller just gets really mad.
And I know
Damn it,
somebody's
this
got a
sounds
bowl. Somebody's a
familiar.
bowler.
Yes, somebody is a bowler.
bowling ball
William
face.
H. Macy plays like a miner, like a
a
miner, not like a minor, like a child.
Okay.
And Greg Kinnear is like he's like the Superman of this world. Like everybody loves his vigilantism and not the mystery men.
Oh, looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I don't see Janine Garofalo in a whole lot, but when she's in something, she's always memorable.
Mm-hmm.
Half Baked, she's one of the stoners he sells to.
Mm-hmm.
Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion, the girl that he's her and Alan Cumming are friends in high school.
Yeah.
And what else? What else has she been in?
She had a talk show, I think.
Yeah, it's not a movie.
Janine Garofalo. She was in an episode of Seinfeld.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to recap the wheel. We got Mystery Men from Joseph, Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 from Joseph. We're going to do Flypaper from Angry Otter for the Patreon pick, Falling in Love Like in Movies from Pete, Hell Comes to Frogtown from Pete, The Fisher King from Tyler, and Killing of a Sacred Deer from Tyler. All right, so here's what we're going to watch next week.
Oh, boy.
Oh, a short spin.
Oh,
What is it?
Fisher King.
The Fisher King.
All right.
Robin Williams, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's Robin Williams.
I don't know. I don't know anything about this movie. We'll see.
What made you put it on?
I get this movie and August Rush
worry
mixed
about
up.
No, I want to know.
No, it's all right.
No, I want to
Be
know.
honest. Just say your truth, Tyler.
No, I mean,
Tell
I
the-
have a fan of the show wanted us to review this movie, and
Tyler,
so
why
I
don't you just
dutifully
live your own life?
I do.
You give yourself nicknames to introduce yourself to the show with. You watch Parachute.
Yeah, I
You
did watch.
wink at the camera.
Yeah.
You're gonna dedicate an okay. We also did Safe because of that same reason.
And Holes.
Yeah,
And
and
Space
Holes.
Jam.
Yeah.
Interesting how that works.
Yeah.
Have some agency, my boy.
Have some autonomy.
Yes.
Fisher King. I heard it was a good movie. A fan of the show.
Where's it
wrote-
streaming? Is it streaming anywhere?
I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, but I heard it was a good movie for us to watch and talk about.
The Fisher King.
Yeah.
Fisher King streaming.
Pete, it's already
Pluto TV.
He already
1991.
said he didn't really like this movie.
watched it.
Joseph, he hasn't seen this movie. I haven't seen this movie either.
I probably watched it in like 2013, 2014-ish.
Oh, so a long time ago.
Yeah, a while ago.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, well,
Fuck it. Why not?
I mean,
Robin Williams, Jeff Bridges, Amanda Plummer, Mercedes Rule. Yeah, Chris Howell. David Hyde Pierce, like him.
Yeah.
Why isn't this movie The Town?
Well, you
Kathy
know,
Najimy, Harry Shearer. Cool.
You know what's interesting though is that this is probably the. I mean, I never get picks on the wheel.
So why
And
not use it
so-
for a movie you don't care about?
I never get picked in the wheel.
I don't sound. I didn't sound like
I don't
that.
sound like that.
Stop copying me. Stop hitting yourself.
Are there two Tylers in the room right here?
It's like you're here. Tyler, can you give us a Robin Williams impression? Since we're doing a Robin Williams movie
impression.
Yeah.
I'll save it for next.
Okay,
episode.
please
Okay.
work on it.
Yeah. I want a full paragraph.
I'm curious to
paragraph?
rewatch it because I just don't like. I didn't remember liking any of the movie. Like I didn't like the characters. I didn't like. I didn't like the writing. The story I didn't like.
10 years ago or 11 years ago.
Uh-huh. I remember something similar. Someone's like, "Oh yeah, Fisher King's good," and I watched it. I'm like, "What the fuck is this?"
Well, we'll
So let's
find
see-
out.
let's see.
But
changes.
are there any other movies from that time that you watched then that you watch now that you actually did like but didn't appreciate back then?
Yeah, there's some. That's what I'm saying. I'm curious to rewatch it.
Well, you'll find out, classmates,
Yeah, that's right.
about our opinions
it's
On the Fisher King.
on the Fisher King.
streaming on Pluto only.
Oh,
Yeah.
You can rent it, but for free. It's only on Pluto.
No,
So-
I'll
I gotta
do it.
say, it was weird watching The Hunt and then a Candy Crush ad would start playing.
That was weird. Yeah.
Mine was for Ozempic.
Oh, really?
I had a mental health like therapy thing.
Mine was the
Saluna.
app. Yeah, the app.
Saluna,
Yeah.
yeah. But again, the app was only for 13-year-olds to 25-year-olds. So I was like, oh, well,
You're
fuck, I
out.
guess.
Fuck
Oh, you're
me.
watching The Hunt? You should check this out.
Yeah.
All you 14-year-olds.
I know.
Okay, cool. Anything else, fellas?
That's it.
Nope.
Okay, so thank you to our cool-ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather, Michael, Steven, and Chris. And if you want to support us, you can do so at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or just watch or listen to us on the YouTube page. That helps as well. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Big Red Dow stayed for the whole time. Heather was here. Joe Bridges was here. Anybody else I'm missing that was on the second half?
In the second half, I didn't.
I think it was it. But
That was pretty much.
Kraken first half as well, though. We had a
Ryan Tripp, Bruce was there for a minute.
Yeah, Trip gave us a donation. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Angry Otter Eric was there. He's watching Nosferatu right now.
Yeah. Bruce gave us a recommendation.
Dan.
Oh yeah, Binge Lord Dan was there. So if you're thinking, man, I'm missing out. Why am I just listening to this on the audio podcast only? Go to the YouTube page every Saturday, 12:30 p.m. ish.
Give us a subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe, listen. What's our subscriber count right now, Joseph?
Let's take a look.
It's over 800.
It's almost 900.
872.
Yeah.
Our goal is to hit 1,000 by the end of the year, and we almost got there. So
Almost got
totally fine. We're still climbing. The goal is to get 1,000 at some point, and then we can actually rub a few shekels together on the YouTube page
And other stuff.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Until next time. Thank you for joining us as we gab and chatter, give our top 5 or 10 of 2024, review Nosferatu and The Hunt. Follow us next week as we review, what was it? Fisher King.
Fisher King.
Fisher.
Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class, and please leave us a voicemail. We like to hear from our classmates at 209-283-1716.
And follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC and on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class.
All right. See you next time.
See ya.
See ya.
Yeah, I wrote that joke on the way here.
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here.
The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week.
See you later. See you later.
That's a wrap.
Great show.